Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you the basics of the Magic Keys calculator. In this video I'm going to go over how to set up the calculator, adjust risk management parameters, and how to enter, manage, and finally close trades. The first thing that we're going to look at is after you purchase the software, you're going to be sent an email that's going to give you the link to download the software. So the link to the software will bring you here, and you're going to want to download whichever version is available. You're going to open that up, and you may need to run these files. I've already done so, so it'll give me an error, and that's how you know if you already have it. Next, you're going to want to run the Magic Keys setup. This will ask you to just go next, next, I agree, and then you'll be installing the software. After installing the application, we're going to open it on our computers. It's just called Magic Keys. And then when we run that app, we will get a window that looks like this. And from here, we're going to need to activate the license. So the license key was given to us in the email that was sent with the download link. So you're just going to need to navigate to this window, and then we're going to need to manage the license and copy and paste the code that we were given into this new window. And then this button will say activate, and if it works correctly, it'll say license is activated. If the license does not activate after pasting the code, then you may need to adjust some settings on your computer that have to do with your time zone. We had a couple issues with that, and then we had to adjust the auto time of the computer in order to rectify it. Now that we've successfully activated our Magic Keys license, we can link the MetaTrader account to our Magic Keys. And to do that, we are going to reopen this Magic Keys window. We're going to navigate to the File tab and then click Link Empty. Once here, you'll be given the option of which folder you need to navigate to, and these will most likely be filled in, which is your username, app data, then roaming, and then we're going to find MetaQuotes folder. We're going to enter that, then we're going to go into the terminal folder, and then from here we're going to need to choose the correct folder to link our MetaTrader account. And to know which is the correct folder, we're going to go back to our MetaTrader platform. We're going to hit File, Open Data Folder, and that's going to bring this window up, which is going to show us at the top of the window the name of the folder that we need to link our Magic Keys to. So once given these options, now I know that this is the correct folder. And then we're going to hit Select Folder. I'm going to get an error because I've already done it, but it will go through because this is the first time you're doing it. Now that we have our license activated and our MetaTrader linked, we need to navigate over to the Expert Advisors on the left-hand side of MetaTrader. It's in the Navigator menu, and if you don't have this up, you can go to View, and right here it'll be either a blue box around it to show that it's there, or it might have a white box if it's not there. So if you don't see Expert Advisors in the Navigator menu, then you need to go up here and make sure it's selected. So then we're going to open up our expert advisors, and we should see magic keys as an expert advisor. Now we're just going to make sure that our magic keys is working properly. We're going to open this window back up. We're going to go to on screen, and then we're going to go to open. And it should give you this green text that says on screen, and it should pop up a calculator that looks like this. So now, even though we see this calculator and we have our MetaTrader in the background, it doesn't mean that we are necessarily controlling this trade with the calculator. So we need to link our magic keys to our charts. And how we do that is I see that I have the Euro Aussie selected here as my pair, and it's selected down here showing me that I have the Euro Aussie. So for just this chart, I'm going to link the magic keys, and we do that by going over to our expert advisors, picking up magic keys and dragging it onto the chart and dropping it. And we're going to be given this window that has about, comment, inputs, and dependencies tabs on it. And we're going to start on the common tab. And we need to make sure that this allow live trading box is checked. So we need a check mark there. And that coincides with this auto trading up here. And then we also need to make sure that we allow DLL imports so that the calculator can place trades for you on MetaTrader. To make sure that we've done this part correctly, we can hit OK, and we should be greeted by a window that pops up on the chart that shows some of the stats of our trading day. It should be blank for now because this is the first time we've imported it. This box is the indicator that Magic Keys is able to be used on that specific chart that you have selected. Now we're going to take a look at how to adjust the settings of the risk calculator so that we can adjust our unique and custom risk parameters. So to access the settings and inputs, we're going to go and right click on our chart. We're going to go down to Expert Advisors and then open the Properties window. This is the one that we were just looking at with Common and Allow Live Trading. So then from the Common tab, we're going to go to the Input tab, and this is where we can input our custom values, and these values correlate with our risk parameters that we're going to be placing on each trade and also the buttons that are on the calculator itself. These settings are broken down into subcategories defined by this dash dash and then the heading. So the stats settings, risk management, and so on. And if you need to quickly change a setting, that's how you can identify where the parameter may be located. There are a few important ones that we need to change before we enter any trades with the calculator, and the first of which is under the risk management heading. So what we're going to be looking at is percent of risk per order. So what this means is how much we're risking on each trade that we enter with the calculator. Right now it's set at 2% as the default setting, and that would most likely be our maximum risk parameter per day. So we need to change this. Another important setting that we need to look at is also under the trading limit subheading, and that's the max cumulative loss percentage per day, which is automatically defaulted to 2%, which is fine with us. So if I had a $1,000 account and I was risking 2% per trade, then I would be risking $20 on every trade. So in order to change that, I'll change it to a 0.5. We're just going to double click in the box and change it to 0.5 and then click anywhere else, and it'll save the value right there. The next one that we want to look at is how many trades that we can take in a day, and that one can be found under the trading limits subheading. And if my maximum loss per day is 2% and I'm trading 0.5% risk per trade, then the maximum trades that I can do is 4 if I were to lose them all. So my max trading ideas per day is 4. The calculator and its inputs are very customizable. For example, you can change the color of the lines and look at the different, you can change the fonts and the line thickness if it helps your eyes or it's better on a different screen. Another one that is really important is the percent of position to close on close custom. So this is when you're programming a value to a button on the calculator. There's a few instances of this, but this is probably the most important. So percent of position to close on close custom 0 to 100 correlates to this button, close custom. So if you're in a trade and your calculator is active on that trade, if you hit the close custom button, it'll close out. Right now, it'll close out 25% of your position. So you can always edit that, save it to a profile, and then load that profile onto the calculator to use. Now that we're content with our settings, we can move on to save this preset and then load it onto the calculator. So the way to do that is we are going to hit save. I will name this test, and then I will hit save button. And now the preset is on our calculator. So we're going to hit OK. We're going to be greeted by this window again that shows our maximum risk per day, which is the 2%, and we will see that we have 4 trades left for today. Now for the fun part, we're going to look at how to open a trade. First, we're going to start with market orders. So the way that we do that is we first navigate to Open Calc. Open Calc is going to be the button that you press to begin setting up all of your trades. So we're going to go to Open Calc. We have our target line here marked green and our stop right here in red, and say that we wanted to go short from this position at market value. I would hit the switch button to switch the positioning of the target and then the stop. So now I'm in the short direction of this trade. I'm going to set my stop right above this area right here, my target here, and when I hit open trade, I'm going to be entered in at market price going short. Now you can see this is counting the number of pips that I'm either up or down, and down here in my log, you'll be able to see New Zealand dollar, New Zealand dollar. I'm entered in the sell position. Now instead say that I want to, instead of that market entry, I'll just get rid of that quickly. I wanted to do a breakout entry or a limit style entry where I need it to fulfill a certain price before entering me into the trade. I'll first hit Open Calc. Same way, we start every trade. Open Calc. I'm going to hit Market Pending, and then you'll notice that we get this yellow line right here. This yellow line is an indicator that price needs to cross this line or touch the line in order to fill your order. So that's how you set up your pending order. So say that I wanted to go short, I need to put the stop above current price and our target below, so that's the switch button. I'll put my stop in the same place. I'll put my yellow line here, and then I'll put my target down here. And now when I open this trade, what I'm saying is I want to go short from this yellow line. So if price comes to this yellow line and fulfills your order, you'll be entered in short with a stop here and a target here. So I'm going to place that trade by hitting open trade. And now you can see I'm not yet in the trade. Based on this right here, I'm not in the trade, but I have a sell stop at this price, which is indicated by this black dotted line. And then I'll just show an example of a sell limit. Same thing, I'm going to get rid of these lines just to declutter, remove that order. So we go to Open Calc. We have our stop below current price, so we want that above for a sell limit. So I'm going to hit switch. If we have price come up to this area here, this yellow line is our line of entry. So price comes up to our yellow line, fills us in. Our red line is our stop, and then we're going to take it down to our green line. So I hit open trade, and now we can see that we have a sell limit pending, or a sell limit waiting to be filled. Now say for example that we wanted to do a buy limit order, we would set up our trade similarly. First of all, we always start open calc. We have our stop below current price because we're doing a buy limit. We're going to set our entry price, our yellow line here, and then our target right here. So what we're saying when we're setting this trade up is that we want price to come down into our zone between yellow and red and then turn to go back long. And then to enter that into our platform, we're just going to hit open trade. And then we can see here that we have a buy limit waiting, also indicated by these lines. So price needs to come down to the black line, fill our order, and then go back long. Now we're going to look at a couple ways that we can modify the trade while we're setting it up. So of course we're going to start with open calc, and we can see that we have a market pending style order set up because of the yellow line. And the first feature that I'm going to show is the input pips button. So input pips, the way that this works is once you hit it, you'll be greeted by this window that says insert number of pips. And what this means is the number of pips that you enter in here is going to be how many pips away your stop is from your entry. So entry right now is indicated by the yellow line. And then if I were to enter 15 pips, then the stop will be 15 pips away from our entry. And we can see right here, pips right now is 51. So I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm not sure if you can see, it says 15 pips now. So if you're trying to place your stop based on a pip amount, then that's a good way to do it. Also, we can modify the target positioning by using this target at 1 to X button. And the way that works is in our settings that we've predefined what this X value is. So right now we have it at 1. So our target will go at 1 to 1 when we hit that. So right now our target or our stop is 20 pips away. So I'm going to hit target at 1 to 1, and that'll also move it 20 pips away. Here, I'll give you a better view. So we have 72 pip stop. So we do target at 1 to 1 of the stop. Now we have 72 pip target. And that works on both limit orders and market orders. So if I take this off right here, now we can see that our stop loss is 100 pips away from current price. And then if I hit target at 1 to X, or right now it's 1 to 1, then we'll see our target move to 100 pips, which is equivalent to where our stop is at. The next modifier that we're going to look at is the input risk button. So you may use this if you're less confident in a trade, or if you want to double check what you're risking, or if you're doing an add-on position that's a little bit smaller than your original. So what we're going to be looking at is setting up a long here at market price, and then we're going to change the risk from the default value that's in our calculator. So the way to do that is we hit input risk. We're going to be given this window right here. And right now, if you look in the top left, you can see it says 0.49% of the account is being risked on this trade if we were to enter it right now. But say that I was more confident in this trade and it was my A plus setup. Maybe I want to risk 1%. So I would see this one, and I say, okay. And now you can see that the value has changed from 0.49 to 0.97. Around 1% of the account is being risked now. So you have to be cognizant of what this value is before you enter into your trade. Now, if I wanted to do less risk, I'd hit input risk again and say that I want to do a 1/4% instead of 0.5%. I hit 0.25 and say OK. And now you can see it's trying to round to 0.25% and it's giving us 0.17% of the account. It'll always round down to a lesser risk as opposed to rounding up to more risk. Now I'm going to speak about something that is near and dear to some of our hearts, and that is add-ons. So as you can see in this trade, I am already entered in short. I'm up 50 pips as shown in the top right. My entry is at this black line right here. So say that I would like to get in short in an additional position, but because it's an add-on, I want to get in on a smaller size. So I'm going to get into the trade in the add-on the same way that I get in the original position, apart from I'm going to input my own custom risk. So if I were to get in right now, I would need to switch the position to go short, put my stop up here, and you can see that I'm risking 0.5% of the account. So I don't want to do that. I want to do half of that. So what I'm going to say is input risk button. Then I'm going to input a custom amount of 0.25% that I would like to risk on this trade. Hit OK. Now I can see in the top left that the 0.5% is modified to 0.25%. And now I can enter into the trade at market value by hitting open trade. And now you can see here, I am in the Aussie CAD and the Aussie CAD. This is my original position and this is my add-on position. What you'll notice when I get in the second position is that I get a green line here that shows the average price. So it's going to be the average between my entire order. So on average, I got in short from this position. And you can see in the top right, I'm up 43 pips on one order and down 24 on another order. And if I needed to manage them individually, you're going to need to utilize the change symbol button. So what the change symbol button does is it alternates between which order you are in control of on that specific chart. So if you look down to the right where my cursor is here, it says all in red text. So if I am seeing this all, I know that my calculator is in control of all of the orders on this specific chart right now. So if I wanted to alternate to a different order, I would hit change symbol. Now I'm in control of order, the sell order that ends in 85, and that corresponds to this order right here, 85, which was my original position before the add-on. Now if I wanted to switch to manage the add-on, then I would hit change symbol again, and it would switch to the order ending in 17, which I can see is the add-on position 17. And then again, I can hit change symbol and it changes back to all, and I'm controlling all of the orders again. So say for example, I'm in the add-on and it's losing and I want to get out. I can either hit the X right here, or I can hit change symbol, change symbol. I see that 17 as the order number corresponds with this add-on's order number, and then I can control that order from the calculator now in just that order. So now I say close full, and that order is gone. So I'm now out of that position, as you can see down here in our order terminal. a few more management tools that we're going to look at are the partial take profit button, the auto break even button, and then the stop loss at entry button. So first we're going to start with the partial take profit button. If I hit this, you'll see that I get a little black window up here that says partial take profits, and I can adjust this pink line now. I'm just going to get this out of the way here. I can adjust this pink line, and at this pink line, if I set it, I'm going to get a dashed pink line to let me know that it's active. I can change it. If I want to change it, I can hit the edit button and move it again. But what this does is if this line is touched, I will get out of my position 50%. So I can change that number as well. So if I wanted to get out 75%, I can then move where it's at and then hit set. So if this dotted pink line is touched by current price, then I will be out of my position by 75%. And I can create multiple of these. Maybe I want to get out 25% once price comes back to here. So I can have multiple take profits live with this feature. The next feature we're going to be looking at is the auto break even button. So I'm going to hit that. And what this is another line similar to the partial take profit button where we can set its positioning. And how it works is if price comes to it after we've set it, so the way that we set it is activate break even trigger. We just toggle this button like that, and when it becomes dashed, you know it's live, and then you hit it again and it comes off. So auto break even, now we're going to adjust it to here. And how this operates is if price comes to the line after it's set and touches the line, then our stop will automatically move to the entry price. So price comes to the line, then our stop automatically moves for us. The next button we're going to be looking at is stop loss at entry button, this yellow one right here. And the way that works is we have our stop right here indicated by this red line, and we're up 50 pips in this trade, and we want to move our stop to our entry price so that we can't lose on the trade. So wherever it's at, doesn't matter. We can hit the button, and then our stop is now here. So the max that we can lose is 0. So stop is here, it doesn't matter. We hit stop loss at entry, boom. We can no longer lose on the trade. The next feature we're going to look at is the double order button. I'm not really sure when you would want to use this, but the way that it works is if I hit the button, I'm going to be entered in at market price with the same sizing as the original position. So right now we're looking at pound dollar. And if I hit double order, I will enter at market price with a 0.05 size with the same stop and target as the price the order that's live on the chart. So I hit double order. I have a different entry price, obviously, because the market's moved since my original entry. And then my stop and target are in the same place with the same exact size as the original order. Now we're going to look at another very important part of the calculator, and that is how to close out of your orders. So what we're going to be looking at is this same Aussie CAD trade. I'm up 57 pips in it. As you can see right here, I'm in it with a size of 0.15. And if I wanted to close, I'd be looking at these 3 buttons right here, the close full, close half, and close custom buttons. This close custom amount is based on the properties that we set earlier on in the video. And right now I have it changed to 75%. So if I hit this close custom button, the 75% of the position will be closed. Okay, so just to showcase that, I'm going to go from 0.15, I'm going to hit close custom, and now I have 0.04. size remaining on the order right here. Now if I'm going to hit close half, this 0.04 should go from 0.04 to 0.02 like that, and we're taking profits along the way there, so we're closing out of the position at the current price. And then if I hit close full, then it's the same thing as hitting this X right here, and we're going to be exited out of the entire position. So close full, and we no longer have a live Aussie CAD trade. Now just a couple of the more odd features of the calculator. Right now, you can add scripts to these different function keys to allow yourself to run custom functions or scripts that they already have uploaded into the settings, and you can just enable them. Right now, this FN key is an activate partial stop loss button, and if you set that up, it'll stop you out for a certain percentage. So it's like partial take profit, but for a stop, and the amount is determined by you in the settings. Another feature is this num button right here, which doesn't allow you to utilize any of these buttons while they're grayed out. So if you're having a bad day or you don't want to be messing around with the calculator and you need to get off trading, then you just hit this num button and your calculator no longer works. We also have the show stats button right here, which shows like your win percentage for the day on that specific chart, number of trades we've taken, and our profit and loss, along with some other stats that you might be interested in. So hopefully that helped you have a better understanding of the key features of the calculator and what each of the buttons does. If you do have any further questions, you can always find me and ask me, or navigate to their website and they have a features list that gives a description of each one of these buttons. Good luck, guys.